Okay, so it's such a pleasure to be here with you this morning. And one of the areas which has been my motivation and as well has been also on my heart for the last 15 years, it's working and team building in international teams. I work in international teams from the age of 19. So that means like 16 years ago, I start to work with international people. And my first experience was with a family from Scotland. And I remember me and some friends were doing some volunteer work in Romania. And then the first challenge that we faced there, it was like one of the dog, they had this family, they had the nice dog, and the dog started to, was on the couch. And one of my friends says, no, 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 the dog should not stay on the couch. The dog should be down. And he took the dog and he put it down. And that was very offensive for that family. And then it was a conflict there. So we realized why was the conflict? It was not because the people, they had bad intention. My friend, he had nothing to do with that. He loves the dogs, but different values, different understandings. And when I was 21, I moved to Macedonia, and then I experienced cultural shock. I experienced living in Macedonia, learning Albanian language, because in Macedonia, you have around 800,000 Albanians, and you have Macedonian language, different alphabet, different culture. So I was living with a family, and I remember very clear that morning, I went up in my room and I didn't find my socks. In that family, there were like 5 kids. There were like 3 girls and 2 boys. And I said, where are my socks? So I was just looking around the house, and then I saw one of the guys from the family. He was wearing my socks. So he said, what? What are you doing? Have you stole my socks? That's why, And he looked to me and says, no, 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 no. I just borrowed that. I said, what do you mean you borrowed that? In his mindset, it was like everything that belongs to me belongs also to them. Everything that belongs to them, the food, the share, the house, belong also to me. So you really see me as a part of the family. But in my mindset, it was like, this guy, he stole my socks. But I realized, reading in a book with a family from UK, moving in Pakistan, the one time they were like staying in their living room, and one guy, he was going like a rocket, took their bike and ran away. And these guys, they were going after this man, this Pakistani guy, say, hey, you stole our bike. He says, no. What do you mean no? You just come in our house, you stole our bikes, and you disappear. No, no, no. I said, no, because you guys, in our village, whatever belongs to you belongs to us. Whatever we have, we give to you. So you can freely take it. There was a moment in Macedonia, we're working with Brazilians, Italians, Romanians, Albanians, Macedonians, and and Americans. We're developing social work, community, business. We realized, man, it's not easy to work in international teams. So I want to share with you a couple of skills that I developed, but I believe strongly that working in international environment is one of the most beautiful sides. Being bicultural, because in Macedonia I stayed for 10 years, I need to adopt myself to Macedonian culture and to Albanian culture. I learned Albanian and I started learning Macedonian. Different alphabets, different religions, different values, everything was different. But then I realized you have only one choice. If you want to survive in this global world, you need to understand how you're going to communicate with people from different cultures. I study in Romania, in Constanța. I do my university in Bucharest. I do my master in Oradea, in other cities. So I study in 3 big cities in Romania. Now I'm doing my master's in the US. I study IT. I study instructional designer. I wrote a book, and I travel in 27 countries. One of the things I experience is that we are humans, we are the same. We have the same needs. First of all, if you look to the global overview, according to the United Nations, the estimate number of international migration in 2024, it was 300 million people. This figure is up from 275 million in 2022. 300 million people, they migrate. 300 million people. You know what means this? We have here Albanians from UK, Albanians from Italy. I'm Romanian living in Albania. In Tirana, you have maybe 10,000 foreigners living in this country. More than 50 nationalities. So you have so many people moving. All these people, they're going to experience culture shock All these people, they're gonna experience needs. If we have a war in Ukraine, I have been to Ukraine during the war, it's because people, they don't communicate with each other. And people, they don't have time to tolerate and to understand each other. So there is a lot of things going on there. So the work business opportunities, the rise of globalization has transformed the way business operate, creating an environment where cross-cultural interactions are the norm. As a result, employees with strong intercultural competence are well positioned to stand out and succeed. People who work internationals and develop soft skills. That's again soft skills to work with international environment, to understand how to communicate. In order people to communicate to each other, they need to understand who they are and what is their message. So business opportunities, definitely European Union, United States, China, India, we are working globally. There's no turning back. We need to learn from each other, and we need to learn how we're gonna do that. So when people learn how to communicate, they develop as well business skills. Someone here in the neighborhood opened a business with Burek. And I remember I'm doing the marketing side. I remember one time I was just listening, and then this lady, she came to me and says, you know, Nick, I think it's something wrong with me the way I operate. And I say, what? And she says, I ask opinions from everyone, but at the end of the day, I do how I think. I do by myself. And I was listening, and I said, listen, this is something very deep in your values and your cultures. So you need to, first of all, to understand how you work. Okay, she wants people, foreigner people, to work and do business with her. But the real point is that need to build bridge. So I help her in her business, how we're gonna build those kind of bridges, not only with foreigners, but even with the community. So there is a lot of business opportunities for people who understand that. Can you? How to flourish in intercultural environment. Adaptation process, people don't resist change, they resist being changed. This is very sad, but this is the reality. In today involving businesses, landscape mastering the art of design requires the only creativity and technical skills, but also adaptability in a deep understanding of the surrounding context. So, adaptation process. You come here and you're gonna see things which are not according to your value and probably according to the global values. They're not okay. Adaptation process. You need somehow to adapt. You know, when you go to a place, when you go to a coffee place, when you go, you're gonna see things they're very different. So the way you adapt yourself to that kind of circumstances, but in the same time keeping your values and keeping yourself, it's called like contextualization. Okay, became a bicultural. Bicultural is when one person belongs to two different cultures, explains Cecilia Montes, an associate professor in the School of Modern Language. Biculturalism, biculturalism, which can come with language learning, can provide a new mindset in how you view the world, as she adds. So how are you gonna become a bicultural? It's not only coming with the language learning, but also it's understand the people of mindset. I had a very good friend of mine from Afghanistan. He was in Macedonia. And you know what? This guy, he was a very nice guy. But he has all the time problem with the Iranian people. Yeah, probably he didn't like Iranian people. The Iranian people didn't like him. And then I discovered that he has also different tribes in Afghanistan. So he has another Afghan friend that didn't like each other at all. And then I start to speak with him, and we start to know each other. And we were taking the food from KFC. So we buy the food from KFC. We are going in a field. I stop my car. I put out a blanket from my car. We put the blanket on the earth, on the ground. And we are eating from the KFC in the middle of the nowhere. It was, people were watching, it's like, what's happening with these guys? They're eating KFC on the ground. But for him, you know something? For him, he didn't like to stay in a restaurant to eat there. For myself, it was, I'm going to honor you. I'm going to invite you to a restaurant. I'm going to give you a good meal. We're going to have a nice... No. For him, he likes to be on the field. So we had the lunch on the field, and I became his best friend. Didn't took me so much. It just took a bit of creativity. bicultural. Bicultural is like a very, very strong process, and I think people that they live from Albania and they live in UK, I think they became bicultural. I mean, they need to, you are forced to become a bicultural. But some of the time, and I see with Romanian communities from US, they want to keep the Romanian tradition. They want to keep the Romanian, and you need to keep somehow some of the values. But at the end of the day, you need to become like people from that culture. So you became bicultural. You know who you are, but in the same time, you embrace that culture. If you don't become bicultural, you cannot live fully to your fully potential. So you need to, in order that, can you go? Build a community. So you have started building trust, connect with these people, take them out for coffee, bring them value. At this stage, they can trust you. The community doesn't exist yet, but they can trust you and they can trust the idea of community that you will help to build. We build here a community here in Albania. One of the things, core values of building community is communication, is trust, is vulnerability. And one of the things that I am seeing here in Albania is very hard sometimes people to be vulnerable. So being authentic, that's gonna give you the power to build a community. In the Balkan cultures, we want the things in my way. In my way. If you go to Asian culture, everything is around community. If you go to Germany, everything is how I want. To go to Iran is what the community think about it. It's not important what I want. It's important what the people think about it. And even with the religion side, you meet people in the West and they say, I'm not sure I'm a Christian or not. I'm going to choose that. Here, oh, I'm a Muslim. And I say, why do you think you're a Muslim? Say, oh, I'm born in a Muslim family. So if you're going to be born in a garage, you're going to be a car? I know. So how do you choose? Oh, I'm not choosing. My parents choose for me. India, with who you gonna get married? I don't know. My parents choose for me. Define the rules. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Jim Rohn. Establish rules grounded in ethics and morals rather than solely on B and cultural understanding. So anywhere you want to go, you need to have. And I remember, and I don't know how you're gonna use the WhatsApp. One of my rules in the last team, intercultural team, was use the WhatsApp very simple, because the WhatsApp creates so many misunderstandings. Define the rules in the team. This is talents win games, but teamwork and intelligence win championships. It's hard to work in team. I mean, when you do some project, so you need to define the solid team feels like lightning in the battle. There are those times when things just click, team members jive, and making progress together feels almost effortless and even enjoyable. I love working international teams. Everything I do, I have one family here that work with me in this center. In my Romanian mindset is one thing. In my international mindset is one thing. In their mindset, so it's amazing when we combine different people and doing the same thing. It's exploding. It's powerful. It's really, really amazing. Go on. Build a context, personal development. One of the things we define here, when people, we had a girl from India and she says, oh, I want to work with you here. I say, it's not easy. And she said, why? Because if you stay here, you need to grow. And growth means sometimes painful, going out of the comfort zone. So we are very interested that everyone should develop themselves. If you scan this QR code, there is a Google form. If you register there, we can help you. You can just contact us through that, and we'll be lovely to assist in every journey. We keep seminars on intercultural studies. We keep mentorship programs for international teams. We receive a lot of pro bono things. So we're gonna give also free seminars for international teams, free seminars for people who wants to work internationally, who want to build intercultural skills, or even people who are experienced burnout. Burnout is the moment you don't feel good anywhere. You just feel I'm in the wrong space. I don't know what to do. You know, culture shock is like this. When you go in a new country, you're gonna be happy. Romantic side is like the marriage. You are a very honeymoon. But then as you go, you see the things are very different than what you are used to. So you go to a bottom line, and many of the people in the bottom line, they make wrong decisions. They get in crisis. They leave the country. And then if you became a bicultural, you're gonna function both sides. You're gonna be rich culturally. You're gonna be really powerful culturally in the moment you became bicultural. So anything we can help you, we can serve you, will be our pleasure to do it for you. So that is, I'm gonna be with you today, tomorrow. So if you have any questions or anything, I can help your journey to be really, really powerful. Blessings.